Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Sunday morning. It's probably about, probably 8:30, and I'm up here at the moat. I came up yesterday and made a video. I got back home, and sure enough, I had a defective battery, and I had some of the video, but not enough of it, so I had to do it again. So anyway, I'm doing this twice. But I want to thank everybody that came into the channel last week and left the comments about Lek. It really made her feel good, and hopefully she'll do some more videos with us in the future. She was really impressed with the way people talked about her, and she kind of felt like a YouTube star. But she'd be with me today, but last night she stayed up until about 4 o'clock in the morning watching football, so she was asleep when I left. And anyway, we are out in front of one of my favorite places to eat, and it's Sompetch Kitchen. I'll show you the sign here, and they have really, really good food here, and the prices are reasonable. They're basically Thai prices, and then if you want, you can come next door and get a donut, a good Monday donut. Very good donuts, and I believe it's her granddaughter, the lady that runs that place, is granddaughter that runs this place. But we're going to cross the road here and head over to Chang Moi Road. There's a pizza place there that we're going to try out. And I'm going to tell you a little story about a guy. His name is Thomas Lane. He's an American guy. Really just the scum of the earth as far as I'm concerned. He back in the 90s, early 90s, he was a merchant marine. And he made a trip to, on one of his trips, they had a stopover in the Philippines. And while he was there, he meets this Filipino girl that's about 16 years old. She is introduced to him by one of the guys that he knows. And hello. The articles, and there's several articles written about this, and there's also some case law on it that I'm going to include in the description. And if you're interested in this kind of stuff, it's some really good reading material. This guy was just, he's one of those ones that, in reading about him, you get near him, and your skin kind of curls. Just not a good guy. But anyway, he meets her, and he comes back to the United States, and apparently he keeps in touch with her. And a few years later, she's only 16 years old. A few years later, he's got another trip coming back to the Philippines, and he makes arrangements to meet her down there in the Philippines. And while he's there, apparently she's of age now, and he marries her. He comes back to the United States, and she's still there in the Philippines, and he applies through immigration to get her a visa back to the United States, which is granted. And she comes to the United States. And this is probably about about 1995. And at first, they're living with his parents in North Carolina. I would imagine probably because he was probably still on the ship and wasn't there all the time. Like I said, the article doesn't say, so I'm just kind of ad-libbing what I personally think and, you know, kind of reading between the lines. But anyway, he ends up getting a job in Mobile, Alabama. So they moved to Mobile. Here's the truck coming again. Here, I'll let y'all see this. Stop the story here for a minute. I don't know what they're doing. Probably something for the temple. Yeah, they're bringing that to the temple. That is probably a Burmese temple. Just by the way the guys are dressed, I saw them on one of the other streets. Yeah, see there, all the money is going to the temple. Truckloads of them. Yeah, they're all dressed up. We'll try to get down there and see that. But they moved to Alabama, and she gets a job at Walmart. And he's still working, and we come back up to about 2002, 2003. They're living in a trailer court, and she's already, you know, she's made friends. She is kind of known as the, you know, a decent person that, you know, people like to eat with. And a lot of these Asian girls, when they get to the United States, they'll meet their oin kind. I mean, Leck did the same thing. She wasn't probably, you know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and she had already met some Thai ladies, and what they all like to do, they all like to cook and eat together. And she was no different. She did, and they would get together and eat, and, you know, sometimes the husbands would go as well. And he just wasn't, he wasn't the type who wasn't really into that. People didn't like him. They didn't get along with him. He was kind of described as a narcissist. But anyway, that's pretty cool right there. We are out in front of the crazy German bar. I have never been in here. I've seen them at night, and they're usually pretty busy. Hello. But anyway, around 2003, they're just not getting along. He's already lost his job. He's living off of Social Security, or not Social Security, unemployment insurance. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah. And they're just not getting along. The only thing he's doing is collecting unemployment and you know, just being the lazy bum that he is. 86 is the room. Okay. Now over here inside the neighborhood is a place called Adirak Pizza. And I've read about it, and they say the pizza is really good. So if y'all don't mind, I'm going to stop the story here, and I'm going to go in and get a pizza. But seeing that I did this yesterday, the pizza's already in my belly, but I'll include the video. Well, we figured we'd come and try the pizza, and I read about it and heard about it, and it's all supposed to be good. So I climbed up a flight of stairs. You have to order your pizza at the counter, and then they'll give you one of these little guys, and then you go down and pick it up. So we'll wait for the thing to go off. In the meantime, I've got a water and a beautiful view right where we just went. Okay, my little buzzer went off, so I'm going to go get my pizza. And you have to walk back here to get it. Yeah. Oh, that looks good. Thank you. There you go. Looks good. Thank you. Thank you. It looks good. Let's see how it tastes. Well, there you go. And after I devour this, I'll let you know how it tastes. I can't be like the Barstool guy. What is it, one bite and then you rate it? Good. Okay, the pizza was good. Had good flavor. I like my crust a little bit thicker and a little bit crispier, but it's good pizza. Well worth checking out. It's only 215 baht, and you have to go upstairs. But enjoy the rest of the video. Okay. Well, if y'all pizza was, you know, like I said in the video, the pizza was good. They have another place I think in the city on the other side that they've opened, but they've just opened this place here. Now here's the selfie capital of the world here. But anyway, they're having problems, so they both of them decide that they're going to get a divorce, and they both agree on it. And they go to an attorney, and explain, you know, that they're just not getting along, and everything was supposedly okay, and they were going to use the same attorney because they had agreed on everything. Well, when things started coming down to nuts and bolts, she wouldn't agree to the property settlement. And none of the articles say exactly what it was, but she just wouldn't agree to it. And he was hot about it. She had already moved into a friend's house, not far from where she worked, and she was living there, and she was working night shift. He would show up at work and harass her, and finally the store manager banned him from the store and had security run him off a couple of times because he was really hot because she was not going to settle the divorce. And unbeknownst to everybody, what had happened is he had got back on the internet and he had met another girl in the Philippines, and he was trying to get divorced so he could bring her to the United States. Now, this is back in 2003, and it doesn't make any mention of him traveling back over to the Philippines. Now, you know, Lek and I got married in 2004, and I brought her over on a K1 visa. And one of the stipulations was that we met in person. Now, whether it's different for the Philippines, I don't know. You know, maybe, you know, some of you viewers can tell me, because it doesn't appear like he even went to the Philippines to meet her. He had planned on going, but he hadn't gone yet. He was waiting for her visa to be approved, and honestly, I don't see how he could have gotten a visa for her, because number one, he's not divorced yet, and that was another thing that came to light, that he had tried to send the paperwork off with what he thought would get through was, you have to send in your divorce papers when you apply for a visa to sponsor on a K1 visa. All your divorce papers you have to send through. Well, on the second one, he sent the divorce papers through, but when he came to the final order, he had one, but it had not been signed and it had not been filed, and they rejected it and sent it back based on that. So he was hot, and like I said, she was not budging. He finally These are neat little bikes. She had a pickup truck that she would use to go back and forth to work. And he waited for her one day to get to work. And he went and took the pickup truck and left her stranded there. And then by this time, the attorney that they had both agreed to hire was basically dropping him and representing her, because he ended up filing a order of protection against him to keep him away from her. And anyway, he calls the attorney and he says if she wants that pickup truck back, you know, she needs to settle the divorce. And he even told the attorney, he said, I've already met somebody else in the Philippines, and you know, this divorce is taking too long, and I can't bring her here. And you know, just he's really frustrated. And like I said, I can't for the life of me, unless the story's not telling every little aspect of it, I don't see how he could bring somebody here without going and meeting her. And you know, I don't think he could submit the paperwork, but apparently he did. And to top it off, this girl that he's met, according to the neighbors in the trailer court, because he was running around showing everybody her picture and telling everybody he had already found somebody else and was going to get married to her, and she was only 16 years old. And according to what was said, was he was going to have to pay her parents a bunch of money for them to agree to let her go. Now, whether that can be done or not, I don't know. You know, some of you guys in the Philippines, let me know. I think it can be done here in Thailand, but I'm not sure about the Philippines. But anyway, getting back to the meat and potatoes of this story, he's really frustrated. He's not, I think these are all electric bikes. Yeah, hello. He's not making any headway with her. So one day, she comes home from work. She gets dropped off. By this time, her friends are dropping her, you know, running her back and forth to work, and they're trying to look after her and stuff. And you know, she's just having a hard time. They drop her off about 7:30 in the morning, and she goes in the house. And about 10:30 or 11 o'clock, her roommate comes home. Yeah, here's the temple up here. We may do a walk through this temple. It'd be kind of interesting to see what was going on. That's where all those trucks were coming, and they won't mind us walking through here, I know. But I'm going to stop the story here, and we'll see what's going on in this temple. If you don't want to go through the temple, you know, you can speed it up. Yeah, we'll take a walk through here. All these trucks we passed going in. I think I need to be on the other side. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what this is. This is the Burmese temple. Beautiful stuff. All dressed up. They look really, really good. Walk around this way. Yeah, they're all going up into here. And may just walk up the steps and see what I can see because I don't want to have to take my shoes off. Yeah, they're all taking their shoes off. I'm going to pass on that. What they're doing is they're bringing their offerings up into the temple. We'll go around to the other side. Look at all the shoes. See if we can get through over this way. I think we can. Walk through their little group here. Get to the other side here. I'll have to cut that out. Didn't even see that. This is really cool. Lots of people here. Food everywhere.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? What is the what are they doing? What's the celebration today? What is the celebration today? What do they call it? What do they call it? All right, guys, you're on YouTube. You'll be on YouTube. Let's see where we're going here. We'll walk back here, and then we'll hit the outside. I will try to look up and see what the celebration is. I think we can get it. Beautiful headdresses. I think we'll walk back out the same way we came in. Or now we'll go out this way. Well, that's interesting. You never know what you're going to run into when you're out walking the streets. Now we have to go that way because I want to go back right to where we left off when we walked in the temple. And yeah, that'll work out just fine. But anyway, her friend comes home at, I'm starting the story off again, where I left off. Her friend comes home at about 10:30 and goes inside the house. Morning. And she thinks everything's fine, and she's expecting her to be there. Well, she goes in the bathroom. Here's the water running in the bathroom. Well, she looks and the water's running out from underneath the door, so something's not right. So she goes in the bathroom and she finds Teresa in the bathtub, and the curtain rods are pulled down, and she's basically face up, but her head's under the water, and dead. So immediately she calls the police, and they come out, and they do a pretty good investigation on it as far as what happened. And the officers state when they got there that there was no forced entry into the house. They couldn't find anywhere where the house had been broken into. They checked all the doors and stuff, and they found some marks on the doors, but it wasn't close to where the locks were. All right, we're gonna go back across the street and start heading back towards the market. And get across here without getting hit. Yeah, this guy's gonna wait on me. Good. I could have used that crosswalk right there like those ladies did. But they did a thorough investigation. They started interviewing the neighbors, and one of the neighbors remembers seeing a green truck parked out in front of the house, and they saw a guy get out of the truck, but his description really didn't fit the I think we're gonna go this way. No, we'll go back over this way. Didn't fit the description of the husband. But, the lady there said, she told the detectives and everything about the problems that she'd been having with her soon-to-be ex-husband. And it kind of started leaning his way. But the description of the truck was his. But the description that the witness gave said that the guy was a little bit shorter and a little bit lighter. Wasn't quite as heavy. But lo and behold, the husband, when they get to check it that afternoon, they're looking for him. He calls the detective, and apparently this is probably a small community, but he calls the detective trying to find out what's going on with his wife. And nobody said anything. Nothing had been released to the media. Everything had been kept real quiet. So him calling basically throws red flags up. Well, he agrees to meet the detective at his office. Well, on his way to the office, a patrolman sees him and radios in, and the detective tells him, go ahead and stop him right where he is. And they did a traffic stop on him, felony traffic stop, because they said when he got out of the car, they were giving him commands to put his hands up, and he wouldn't put his hands up. He just kept walking up to the car. And the first thing that he did We'll go down this way. As he's asking they didn't even ask him anything other than tell him to put his hands up. He's asking the officer what happened with his wife, what's wrong with his wife, you know, and makes the statement that he doesn't even know where she lives, you know, and so that pretty much shows, you know, he's definitely not a smart criminal by any means, because it even gets deeper than that. But anyway, the detective shows up at the scene, and where they have this guy stopped, and he puts him in his car, and they're talking. And they don't. They search his truck at the time, and they find a wet washcloth on the floor of the truck, and they also find a chisel, and they confiscate the chisel. And then they go back and they start interviewing people, and they start interviewing his neighbors. And apparently, during the time of the incident, he had come out of his house before, I think it was sometime before like 8 or 9 o'clock, and said that he was going to the store to get donuts, and he left. And he didn't come back until like 11 or 12 o'clock, and that would have been just enough time for him to get to the house, commit the crime, and get out of there. They got some good stuff here, good desserts. She bakes the cookies right in that oven right there. I had been by here before when they've been baking them. Hello. Anyway, we are going to walk this way. Hello. But they let him go. And they go back and interview his neighbors, and they start interviewing his friends. Now, one of his friends, and all the people in the trailer court are saying, yeah, he had plans to go to the Philippines and get his bride. And in the meantime, he shows up back at her work. And it turns out that there was $163,000 worth of life insurance on her. And this is the day after she's found. He's asking, what he needs to do to collect that money. And, it doesn't really say what happened with the money, but I'm sure he didn't get it or any part of it. But they go back and they interview the people at the trailer court, and all of them talk about, him asking them if they'd keep his dog while he goes to the Philippines. And he had showed that picture to just about everybody that he had of the girl. And apparently he was going to have to pay the parents a pretty large sum of money. And that was one of the things that, was a clincher on the case. Now, in the meantime, the lady at the house, when she starts doing her looking around, she finds that, there's $3,600 missing out of an envelope that she had, and a bunch of her jewelry is gone. And just disappeared. So not only do they have a homicide, but they also have a robbery, which enhances the charges on them. So they go ahead with what they've got, and they charge the guy with first-degree murder. And to me, premeditation had to have been there, but apparently the robbery part of it boosted it up considerably. The charges, well, before the trial actually starts, for some reason, the prosecution decides that the attorney working for this guy had a conflict, and they were going to call him as a witness. So to do that, he had to recluse himself as the attorney. So the court appointed another attorney for him, and they went ahead and had a trial. And, you know, they brought all the witnesses in and everybody that knew both of them. And, you know, I didn't say how long the trial lasted. But the jury came back with a guilty verdict. And the sentence recommendation was life in prison. Well, in the state of Alabama, the judge has the option to override the jury's decision, and he did. And it's one of the rare cases I've ever read of this happening. But the judge sentenced him to death, and, which he deserved. In my opinion, he deserved it. He deserved death over a couple times. Now there's a new style there. One of these days I'm going to surprise Like, and I'm going to buy her a pair of those pants, and she's going to have to wear them. She keeps saying, I'm going to get some, I'm going to get some. She never has. But yeah, the judge sentenced him to death. Now, and any time a person gets sentenced to death in the United States, it's years and years and years and years before the sentence is ever carried out. They have appeal after appeal after appeal after appeal after appeal that they go through. I've got one case that's probably the longest I've ever worked on a case. Let's see, we want to go down this way, I think. Nope, we'll go this way. Yeah, we'll go back up this way. And he was found guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder, and it was enhanced. This was in 2010, and he's still filing appeals 14 years later. And you know, there's no telling. I keep hoping he'll get it before get the juice before I'm long gone. But who knows? But appeal after appeal. Well, anyway, they appeal his case, and the appeal is based on the fact that the judge recused his attorney, and his attorney of record, his first attorney of record, had to recuse himself from the case. And the trial courts ruled that was an error, and it was also an infringement on his rights, and granted him a new trial. And this is in 2010. And the prosecution, which they really did a good job. They appealed it to the United States Supreme Court, and the United States Supreme Court just, you know, they read it and they just refused to even look at it. It was obviously a case of he was due a new trial. So they prosecuted him again. This time, they really had all their ducks in a row, and a lot of times in a situation like that, when a case goes so many years, you know, you lose track of your witnesses, you lose track of evidence, and things just go squatty. And a lot of times the prosecutors won't prosecute the case again, and that was their hopes. But they prosecuted him, and sure enough, they got another guilty verdict, and they sentenced the judge again. Sentenced him to, he was sentenced to death. And as far as I know now, he's still on death row. And whether they ever put the juice to him, I don't know. Now this is a place that it was open yesterday. I wish it was open today. They have got all kinds of food, you know, that comes from the States. Really nice people. And then down here on the left, you get a really good noodle stand that's kind of been here for quite a while. They make some really decent noodles. A lot of the movie stars will come here and get their picture taken and have their noodles, so it's kind of interesting. Hello. They're packed. Full house today. Very good, yeah. Looks good too, smells good. He's just piling out them noodles. Anyway, we'll keep going down this way. Everybody's here getting their stuff to bring to the temple. But that's, you know, it's a sad situation. And how this guy ever thought he was going to pull it off, I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know how he expected to get that girl to, but he was sure going to give it a good try. Hello. Yeah, they all got their stuff. Oh, the lanterns. Now during Songkran or during Loikatong, hello, they've banned those things in the city. We'll see what happens. Now, usually a few of them get out, but not very many. We'll hang a left here and head back out towards the street. This might be a rather long video, I'm sorry, but it's kind of a long story. But, you know, I have run across several stories where people guys that from different countries have brought their wives from other countries, and then hello, they have no idea what they're getting themselves into. They don't bend on culture. You know, especially a person with his personality that, you know, the friend says he's just a real jerk to get along with. You know, okay, we had a battery malfunction, but I swapped batteries out. Anyway, I'll turn it around and we'll get right back to the story. But, you know, a lot of them is, you know, it's kind of like they have the attitude my way or the highway. And, you know, in a relationship, that's just not, that's not the way it is. Especially, you know, when a person, you have to look at it. You know, one of the things that I looked at when Lek and I got married and she came to the United States, I took into consideration, she's 10,000 miles from home. She's 10,000 miles away from her family. She's in a strange country. Fortunately, her ability to speak English was very good, and so that wasn't an issue for her. But, you know, it's hard for them. And when you're living with somebody who's a total jackass, that's even worse. Well, I'd hate to fall in that canal. They are doing extensive work on this this canal to make it so that it's presentable, and maybe at some point in time you can walk the entire length of it all the way down to Mekha at the end of Sam Kang Din Road. Campang Din Road, excuse me. Hello. But it'll be nice when they do that, and hopefully they'll make it from all the way up there, because you can get on a little bit further north and get back out here on the street. But that's what you know. That's why a lot of relationships don't work because the person that you know, one of the two don't want to bend a little bit, you know, like she bent a lot, you know, and I bent some. I had to be a little bit understanding of some of the, you know, her needs and what made her feel secure, and that's the main thing. You know, I felt bad for her because she's so far away from her family. We came back quite a few times, but it was still, yeah, we've already walked by here once. There is a bulldog down here that I have to watch out for. This is all fireworks and stuff. I'd hate to see that place go up. Somewhere down here is a bulldog. And one day he came out and I thought he was going to lick my leg, but he was barking a little bit crazy. Finally, the lady got him before he got to me. Don't know if he's going to bite me or not. But it would not have been pleasant. But anyway, you know, it's just, you guys that are going to get into cross-cultural culture relationships need to understand that there's things you have to deal with. And it's always a give and take. Me personally, I wouldn't change anything that I did. You know, I'm very happy, and Lex happy, and we've got a long way to go. All right, we're back where we started, and I'm gonna head back to the car and get some water and go home and edit this video and get it up. Like I said, I had done this yesterday, but when I got back, hello, YouTube. Say hello to YouTube. But I had a defective battery, and the video didn't turn out. And like I said, I appreciate everybody that watches the videos. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.